everyone. This is the workshop. My name is Sarah Billiot.
I'm Patrick Caleri.
And I am Frankie Valentine.
Welcome.
See, and that's how we work together as a unit. We don't leave behind.
We did not plan this beforehand.
I was so hoping, Patrick, that you just wouldn't say anything, and I was like, we're
I
going to do
couldn't
this.
do it. I'm too kind for my own good.
Next week, we're all just going to log out, and it's going to be an hour of dead silence.
Just kind of vamp for an hour. It's fine.
Put up the Jeopardy music.
Just the question. All right, you're dumped on a stage and you have to talk competently about a single topic for an hour. What's your default?
My dog.
Okay, fair point.
My dog. He's got a very tiny head with a very tiny brain, and that brain is so nice and smooth. The thoughts just roll right off. I had to get a new filter for my fish tank today, and apparently my Pleco loves it because he's down there in full view. Because our lights went out this morning, and it frizzle fried my fish tank, so I had to go get a new filter. Yeah, which I found a nice one that is more eco-friendly, so they seem to be loving it. I think. Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. And I got a new fish to go along with Trent Prim and Nate the Great. His name is McAdoo.
McAdoo.
What kind of fish?
They are Dumbo guppies. They don't get longer than 2 inches, which is good because I have a small tank. And I had Roy. All of my fish are named for Ted Lasso characters. Had a Ted, he died. Had a beard, he died. I had Roy the longest. I had Roy for 8 months. But he got real fat and then died. So I think it was his swim bladder, or I overfed him. I don't know. And I have,
He went out like a king.
He did. Like, oh, this is fantastic. His last words were, "Feed me, blub."
Well, to answer your question, Patrick, if I had to talk about something confidently, I have been doing so many presentations for work, like preparing them for my boss, and I don't get any credit, which sucks. But I would absolutely talk about Trump 2.0 immigration because that is all the presentations I've been making.
You could definitely, I could see that for sure. That would be,
yeah.
I think it'd be hard to cap you at an hour with that. You could go on for much longer.
Yeah, I get real passionate about it too. Like, get me started talking on immigration, and I'm just like, get me. Oh my god, it's the Ritalin. I'm not on the Ritalin. Insurance is a scam.
That's why I don't have it.
None of it.
No, it's not life insurance. If I kick the bucket, bury me fancy. I got 20,000. It's fine.
Just burn me somewhere. It's fine.
Honestly, you can say you'll honor my wishes, but if you toss me in the sewer, I'd understand.
Yeah. I'll just be down there swimming.
Oh gosh.
I always say I don't want to be cremated, but I do want to be scattered out of the back of an airplane.
Okay.
Instead of cremated, I want to be dressed as Superman.
Okay. I was gonna say you didn't say you wanted to be cremated. You did say you just wanted to be placed on the back of an airplane.
Yeah, just show me out of an airplane dressed as Superman. Aim for a small child's birthday party.
God. I'm just imagining the ragdoll physics of it all as your body's just.
Imagine this though. Just imagine Liam, my 18-month-old son, grows up and has children, and then at one of their birthday parties, Superman comes falling down, and then they're like, "What the fuck just happened?" And then they stumble upon this podcast.
Again, it's just going to constitute evidence against us. At this point,
Right?
we should stop doing this.
They'll be like, I don't think she was alive before she hit. Why? She aimed herself for the cake.
I
It was
think
horrible. Shit crossing everywhere.
I think I would talk about. I could either do Star Wars or the transition of the Roman Republic into the Roman Empire.
The Roman Empire.
Oh my god. That is too smart for me.
No, it's just I just had very very niche. Okay, I also moved around a lot growing up, so I had very niche interests that just happened to. Yeah, yeah. I just continued them into adulthood, I guess.
No, it's interesting. Whenever you would have conversations at work with the I don't want to say her name just in case, but
Fair.
our secretary, like y'all would just sit down and talk about history, and I'm sitting there like, yeah, uh-huh. Sure, I remember that.
Oh. Yeah, the I don't know. It's funny because the more I learn, the more I've realized that I know almost nothing about anything. Like there are so many aspects to history that I mean, it's just obviously so broad and so wide. Um, I don't know. It also makes me kind of like I was always attuned and liked those subjects in school, but unfortunately, and Sarah, you can probably attest to this, no one really ever coaches you on how to turn that into a career that's both financially viable and something that you care about.
Yeah, yeah, no, I mean, I am not good with history at all, so I would have never even wanted to be coached on that. But like, unless you're interested in biology or law or chemistry, like, or I guess mechanics, like, everyone's just going to be like, what are you doing with your life? Why aren't you going to be a doctor? You should be a lawyer.
Like,
And
I don't know, I'm 18.
right. Yeah, my youngest sister just dropped out of college because she's like, I don't want to go to school for business, which is what she originally started in. She's like, I'm not good at this. I'm really struggling. I want to do art. So she switched to graphic design and absolutely hated it. And she was like, "Oh my god, what does this mean?" And I said, like, "If you don't like, sometimes college just isn't for people. And
Yeah,
if you don't wanna go to college right now, you don't have to go to college right now or ever. That's okay.
yep.
You can drop out." And so she did, and she's so much happier.
Hell yeah. I love that. I mean, honestly, that's good for the up and coming generation is that hopefully they'll get the message that yeah, colleges can be helpful, but it's don't do it if you don't want to. Like I mean,
Yeah,
I don't know about you, but growing up, that was just not. It was not an option. Like college
mhm,
was what I was gonna do. It was. I don't know. It was. And I could have bucked against it more, I'm sure. But like growing up, it just always seemed like a very set, sure thing. Everyone told me to do it, so must be a good idea. And
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
and, I mean, I joke a lot about getting an English degree and like, "Oh my god, I spent all that money for what?" I enjoyed all my classes. I would absolutely get an English degree over and over again. I wouldn't change anything about it, except maybe take more technical and legal writing courses because I think,
yeah, there's no reason that we can't, do a little
yeah,
bit to help modern or future us out. But no,
yeah, yeah, I
it
would take some different classes for sure.
I would drop. Let me think. Oh, yeah, there are some that I look back at and I'm like, what the hell was I thinking?
Yeah, yeah, but no, I just if you have these like super niche interests like history, people are just look at you weird and it's like Yeah, that's super smart for me. I would never be interested in that, but simply because I can't understand it. But the people that can, like Victor, my husband, I mean, he can just like talk about random things in history all the time. And like for I think it was last week's writing prompt about uh what era do you, or like what decade would you want to live in?
Yeah.
I
What
was
generation
talking to him
did you
about
grow up
it, and he's like, yeah, he's like spitting out different things that happened, and I'm like, I don't even know what that is. Like,
in?
how do you want me to write about it?
That's funny.
So anyway, honey, the Parthenon. No,
On the Acropolis.
right. I do like history, but specific histories. So like my niche history is like the history of random actors. Like I when I was 12 was the first time we ever had a computer. So like when we had internet that we didn't have to kill a robot to use anymore, I
Okay.
was all, I was all over IMDb. Like I need all of these facts. So like I fell in love with the movie SLC Punk and wrote down every single quote in a notebook for no other reason than I wanted to memorize the movie, and I did.
That's so
And
Fair.
it's one
funny.
of my favorite.
To this day remains.
Oh yeah, oh
I
yeah. Only
honestly
posers
wish
die.
I find it so cool whenever people can just like spit out like movie quotes and stuff like that. Like I just read a book, interesting enough, really good way to go in today's topic, but it went over so many like different overused tropes, and um it also, like, the characters would just use really overused movie quotes whenever they talk to each other as like inside jokes, and I had no idea where they were coming from because they didn't give any type of insight. It wasn't like they said this from this movie. It was just like a quote and then they laughed, and I was like, "Okay,
I'm
I'm
part of
gonna
it.
have to look
Yeah,
that up."
I've always wanted to have that relationship with someone where you can just look at them and be like, "Bada bing," and then you have this pick like like no one else knows, and just the two of you just cackling. I kind of have that with my mom because we are dumb shit magnets. If ever, and like I'll just something dumb will happen to her, and we'll just look at each other and go like, like, did you see that? Mm-hmm. Are we gonna laugh about this in a minute? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. Um we had a writing prompt from last week. We all did the
Mm-hmm.
writing prompt. No one drank.
Woo!
Amazing. I did drink this past weekend actually, but I also did the writing prompt. So,
Hot
Nice.
dog.
Multitasking.
Thought
okay, who wants to
you
go
were gonna say
first?
malt liquor. I was like, no, honey, that was me.
No,
Just
actually it was um Jim Beam and Coke. It wasn't that great.
ooh,
It really
Fair.
wasn't that great.
no,
Or
Jim Beam's
Crown and
gone.
Coke. It was one of the
It's
2.
always like better in theory.
Yeah, yeah. Alright, who wants to go first?
Hold on, I'll read the prompt real quick. If you
Yeah.
could pick any, that's the old one. Duh. What was last week's prompt? Where
Name
the
a
hell is it?
superpower name a
There you go.
superpower you'd love to have. Would you use it for good or for personal gain?
Ooh. All right. Um, would y'all like me to go first this week?
Sure.
Sure.
All right. And I reopened it after it was already open. It's not that long this week, so this direction. Okay. I discovered I could teleport when I was 3. This is called Super Duper. I discovered I could teleport when I was 3. Well, mom discovered it when I wound up at my grandpa's farm 6 states away. That should have an end. Then again, when I popped back into my bedroom 30 minutes later, I was always able to control it until now. I could just think of where I wanted to be, and as soon as I made up my mind, pop, there I was. Oh, there were a few mishaps, like the time I ended up in my high school crush's bedroom while she was sleeping. She flicked on the light just as I popped back out again. She never looked at me the same, but she figured out why. She couldn't figure out why. Then there was a time I popped into the space station. Damn near died, but I popped back to my room just as fast. I had to monitor my thoughts from then on. Then it happened. Fried Chicken Wednesdays on campus were always the best days because the ladies got in the kitchen and they fried chicken the old fashioned way. But last fall, the grease had other ideas. A plop too fast and a splash later, 10 lunch ladies and 17 early bird eaters were trapped in a blazing inferno that not even the firemen could get past. It happened so fast, there was no time to think. Well, no time for anyone else to think. I closed my eyes, and with a pop, I was in the middle of the calf. I wasn't sure if I could bring people with me, but I had to try. I reached out, wrapped my arms around a freshman who was crying hysterically, unable to move, and popped. Next thing I knew, both of us were standing outside the calf, a few dozen people standing there with their jaws dropped, their eyes wide, until a nursing student ran over, grabbed the girl, and yelled, "Do it again!" Pop! A lunch lady. Pop! A sophomore with blood trickling down her face from a fallen beam. Pop! The body of another lunch lady who was very close to the flames, breathing shallow. Pop after pop until it was empty. Once I was sure it was clear, I closed my eyes and popped. But then I opened them, and I was still in the calf, still in the flames. I looked through the large picture window and watched as the ambulances tended the others. I heard a crack, then a pop, but I never left the calf.
Stop it.
I'm a ghost!
Oh, the dead
Spoopy!
years. That's good. I
That was
enjoyed that.
good.
I almost name dropped Miss Judy because it was very clearly the Nichols
Yeah.
calf. Every Wednesday they made fried chicken and chicken and sausage gumbo, and it was the only day that I would go at the beginning of lunch and stay till the end of lunch. Oh my god, it was so good. Every other meal was like, I'll just have the carrot flan, I guess.
I'll just have a salad.
Yeah. Why is the lettuce brown? We don't question it. It's all we can afford.
That
That was really good though.
was really
Thank
good.
you. Thank you.
I'm so
All right,
sad
who's
that
next?
Yeah, I was
I'm
gonna
so
say.
sad at the end.
I saw Sarah's face like just drop.
I had to click out and then click back in. I click back in, and Sarah's just like, like when I left, she was smiling.
I need to not read ahead while y'all are reading.
Spoiler alert.
Okay.
Do you want to go, Sarah, or do you want me to go?
I can go. Yours is a bit longer, so I'll go first. So mine is called Plentitude. It is posted in the Discord. It doesn't have a Google Docs link.
Okay.
I kicked off my shoes at my bedroom door and shoved them aside. This is so unfair. I run my hands down my face, pulling down my lips and cheeks like they'd melt right off. Marcy gets to fly, Andrew's invisible, Anya can deadlift a whole Cadillac. I flop backward onto my puffy comforter, and me, I get plentitude. Franklin yawns and curls into a tighter ball at the foot of my bed, his gray eyes hardly open. A filler, I say, wiping my hands through the air like glitter might fall from them. The ability to fill. Wow, party trick of the century. Franklin Franklin cracks a lazy eye, its gray iris shining against his black coat. It's helpful for fake ass bitches and their duck lips and silicone tits, I say, sitting up on my bed. But what the hell am I gonna do with that? Be better if I were a guy, at least I'd get off on it. Franklin stares at me, unimpressed. Same, I say, rolling my eyes. I hop from the bed and pull Franklin's collar from the closet. the metal clanking together as Franklin stretches and stands silently at the edge of the bed, waiting for me to buckle the collar around his neck. I could fill up your bowl when we're broke, I guess. Franklin and I walk the pavement around the complex, his nails clicking against the sidewalk, his panting loud in the thick air. I mean, sure, I say. I could fill my stomach, skip a few meals, drop some pounds. We pick up the pace and I jog alongside Franklin. Or I could fill my bank account to get through till payday, fill up my gas tank, never have a gas bill again. I chuckle at that thought. Franklin stops at a tree and lifts his leg. Or I tap my foot, watching flowers tremble under Franklin's stream. He looks at me, tilting his head, his gray eyes sparkling in the evening sky. Or maybe I pull Franklin along, gripping him from the tree trunk and wet flowers at its base. I tap my fingers on my chin. Maybe I should think bigger. And that's it.
Nice. I like that.
What's she gonna do? I'm a little worried.
I I have a tendency to like have stories that have open-ended endings. And I had so many different endings for this, and none of them felt right. And I just felt like it was too on the nose. And so I was like, well, what if I just don't have an ending?
Hey, what if? And hear me out. I just don't do it. All right, George R. R. Martin.
And stop. Gotcha.
Yeah. Like one of the endings was like, I'm gonna post this politician all over the, like, I'm gonna fill the headlines with this politician's dirtiest secrets. And then I was like, yeah, but then I have to go into the secrets. And I just, it
Not
was too on
necessary.
the nose. And another one was like, oh, I could put on some revenge weight for my arch nemesis. And then it's like, okay, well then I have to develop that character. And so
I don't really want to do
I
that.
just,
So.
none of it felt right. And so I just left it. And
No, I think that was a good choice. I like how it ends because it does kind of it makes you kind of contemplate yourself what the possibilities of this power because I felt myself doing that as she was thinking about more and more things she could do. I was thinking more about in my own mind like okay how could I get creative with this and I think that's a really cool thing especially for a superpower.
nice.
I'm
That's
not mature enough for the. It would be better if I was a guy. Mind, like I might be 34 years old, but inside I'm 12. I get the giggles, man.
Trying to think of what you could do like on an atomic level with that.
Yeah.
If you
It'd be kind of cool.
if I
What's
was
that?
if I had done like better at chemistry, I think I would have more ideas.
yeah, I couldn't tell you.
Like
Couldn't
she's
tell you.
got Franklin. You didn't talk about what kind of dog Franklin is, but like if he's like a little Chihuahua or something, like you could have like some guy coming to attack her and be like, "All right, Franklin, get ready." And he's like 20 feet tall. It's a giant ass Chihuahua, and Chihuahuas are vicious. I got 3 of them things,
That's
and
a
like
good idea, actually.
their
Figure
their play their playtime sounds like Armageddon. Like imagine that 20 feet tall, like nobody's messing with you or Franklin.
honestly, yeah, a giant chihuahua is kind of terrifying.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah, that
how
is.
it's like how daddy longlegs technically are like the most venomous spider, but they have such little venom that they can't really do anything to you. I feel like
You know
that's the
what?
chihuahua. If the chihuahua was the size of like a Great Dane, you'd be screwed.
You'd be dead in a minute.
Patrick,
God.
I did not know that about daddy long leg spiders, and I am upset that I know that now.
In all fairness, it's something I read in like elementary school, so it might be debunked at this point in my life. But
It's
I'm
but
one of
it's
so
those
afraid of
mental things,
spiders.
man.
it's literally. I mean, like their bodies are so small. The glands for their venom. It's just they can't do anything. You'd have to get bitten like a million times.
There was a spider on the back of my house, and I'm pretty sure the girl from your story attacked the daddy long legs and made it swell because she was the size of my hand. My mom had to kill her with wasp spray. And she
Oh
said
my
when she
god.
finally hit the ground, it made a thud, like an audible on the ground.
Oh
And I'm
God.
like, that's why you did that shit while I was at work. Because if I would have been home, we'd be packing to move right now. Because where there's one, there's a bunny.
Yep.
I'm
Spiders are
gonna
my.
be on the news. I'm gonna be on the news for attacking a spider with a sword. Just keep an eye out.
Hey, you got to do what you got to do. Bring the right weapon to the party.
Four is weird, guys. No.
All right, I will read mine. So I'm going to read just the last piece of mine because it's a longer piece. I had a lot of fun with this because I wrote it in the same universe as my first story that I wrote, and I did that because that was actually a story that was completely based on like superpowers. The main character didn't have any superpowers, but it was all kind of around the superhero craze.
Okay.
Um, so it's not, first person, it's third person, but let's see, here we go. The men were silent then, staring out over the harbor. Cargo ships folded across the horizon, bound for who knew where. It was a religious kind of quiet as the world turned toward a day where nothing could remain the same. It was Nando who spoke first. What now? Isaiah sighed. He rarely felt his 56 years, regardless of the creases beginning to appear on his cheeks and bald head, but on that evening he was ancient. I'd hoped you'd come with me. Amalia shouldn't have died, but she can be the last. I wanted you to surrender of your own will. And now? Now I still hope, but do not believe. You had to know I would refuse. Yes, but despite it all, you are my family. I will wait for you in the church for half an hour, and then I will be back. Know that if I return, it will be with fire. Then I'll pray that Kianda really does exist, Nanda said good-naturedly, looking to the mermaid pennant above the fort. And I will hope the harbor holds enough water to drown you. It does not. We'll see, cousin. You're not the first to threaten to end me. Maybe in your world you could. But this is my world, where I have a fortune and a fortress and an army. He wasn't boasting. If anything, his smile was tender, even a little wistful. And in this world, there are no dragons. After that, there was nothing more to say. Nando escorted him across the courtyard of what had been a museum for the dead, now bustling with war. The archaic vehicles and artillery had been replaced with anti-aircraft batteries. A host of men checked crates stocked with weaponry, saluting their commander as he and the stranger passed. Isaiah shrugged on his suit coat, the outfit dark save for a woven sash of red, yellow, and black arranged across his broad shoulder. The sounds died behind him as he passed through the tunnel at the fort's front gate, like they'd been smothered with a wool blanket. The men walked together all the way to the massive concrete star which marked the path back to Luanda proper. Isaiah grabbed his cousin in a firm hug, close enough to feel the dull heat of his sweat and taste the heavy cologne on his tongue. 30 minutes. I will wait for you, he whispered fiercely. I know you will, Nando replied, heavy with grief. Isaiah released him and looked at the man a final time, unwavering in his judgment. Finally, he clapped the shoulder of the man who had once been Jonas. You are brave, he decided. They parted ways, with more than an hour's worth of sunlight filtering through the hollowed star. What came next is now common knowledge. 33 minutes later, what could only be described as a great beast erupted into the sky from central Luanda, streaking towards Nando's fort on translucent wings of red and blue fire. The men on the ramparts shouted to one another as Nando took to his chambers, awaiting the dreadful words. 2 minutes later, the beast landed amid the pseudo-castle with half the force of an atom bomb, annihilating centuries-old cobblestones in a churning blast of orange that blossomed outwards like flower petals. 5 minutes after that, the Fortaleza de São Miguel was a crater of ash and slag. Isaiah stood alone among the charred bones, head bowed. His suit jacket had burned away, leaving only a white dress shirt streaked with soot and smoldering on the fringe. He inhaled the stench of cooked flesh and boiling metal, lest he forget what he had done. The dragon was about to depart, terrible purpose satisfied, when the sun's final rays struck a bright globule on the ground. Molten gold, bubbling into the stone cracks, and at its center, a blazing diamond of refracted flame. Gingerly, reverently, he picked it up, ignoring the scalding heat, and a tear curved down the filth on his face as he whispered to ghosts. Brave men burn just as easily.
That was so
Oh,
good.
loved it. That world building,
I
though.
know.
I
So you
like
liked it?
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said this is from
Oh,
your first story. Like, is that your very first like long piece that you did?
Yes. So this is based in the same universe as the first like manuscript. It's like a the full 300-page book that I wrote. That one was it's different in tone. It's more humorous and satirical, but it was playing around with the whole superhero superpowers kind of thing. And then I wrote this now, and it was just kind of based. It's based in the same world, but I tried to do it a little bit more, with my modern style or adult style, I
Yeah.
guess.
yeah.
No.
I
I
think
dig
that's
the hell out of
awesome.
that. Yeah.
I
Thank
love
you.
that because it's like I feel like it's so hard for me to go back to a world that I have already like written in that I in my mind have like failed to bring to its full potential and then go back and be like I'm going to write another story in here. It's like intimidating to me. And so whenever you said it was your first story, I was like, "Oh my gosh, he's going all the way back to his first story?"
Yeah, no, it's I totally know what you mean because this, to be completely honest, when I finished that manuscript, I thought, okay, I was going to try to get it published, and I looked at avenues and whatnot. It didn't go anywhere, which is totally fine. But it's still, I still will revisit it every now and then and read through it and stuff. And it is disappointing in a way because it didn't go anywhere. But I don't know. There's part of me that will always really love it and appreciate it for what it meant to me at that time.
Yeah,
And there's part of me that says, you know what? It may never say never. Maybe at one point in my life, I will be able to do this story justice in a different way. No point in closing doors. If you've had a good idea, it can still be good. And I think you can repurpose ideas really well too into to new works as well.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I understand the going back into old pieces because, like, again, I like the magical stuff, but most of my writing tends to fall into slice of life. And for some reason in college, when I was a wee babe, a freshman, I figured I could write stories set in New Orleans, having never set foot in New Orleans. And and it was actually Nick Maneri who was like, "Where's the smells? Where are the sounds?" I'm like, I don't know. So I've actually wound up making my own town based on the three towns I grew up in, as
Mhm.
well as a neighboring town, which is the town I live in currently, but with a slightly different name.
Yeah.
So like most of my pieces are set there. So I have like there's a place in in there called Night Hill that I'm working on a novel right now called Daughter. It's about a trans woman who comes home because her father's dying, and she meets this young girl at the grocery store. Come to find out, it's her sister's grandchild. They're all much older,
Mhm.
and she's driving her home, and she's like, "That's Night Hill," and Night Hill actually appears in other stories.
Oh,
Night Hill
cool.
is actually Night Hill is actually the small part of Clayville, which is the fictitious town that Dodie's aunt Harriet lives in. Which that's a whole nother thing. Dodie was raised by her aunt. The aunt, her name is Harriet. She was pregnant. She got married and got pregnant and lost the baby, and it made her infertile. She had complications. So she actually wound up raising her two sisters' daughters after her two sisters passed away. So like she had Susan from birth because their middle sister died giving birth, and she got Dodie when she was 12. So they live on Night Hill. And Harriet, not Harriet, Hannah is talking to her grandniece and telling her that's Night Hill. Do you know why it's called Night Hill? And the kid's like, somebody looked at a hill at night. She's like, no, and she starts telling her this big fictitious story about a knight who fought valiantly, and she's like, so the knight still died, right? And she's like, well, it was like 300 years ago, so yeah, probably. So, but I enjoy going back to Clayville and showing the different pieces of the town.
Mhm.
And there is a songwriter. Hold on. Uh, there's a songwriter. I cannot remember his name. No, song based in the same town. Uh, he wrote quite a few songs. Country. It's I cannot remember his damn name. Country music writer. Town? Not town. Nashville? No. No, no, no.
It's gonna
I
say
won't.
if you Google country writer town, it's gonna say
Yeah.
Nashville.
Dennis Lind. Dennis Lind. He wrote quite a few songs all based in, is it him? Is it Dennis Lind? Nope, nope, I'm crazy. Never mind. But there was a guy who wrote a bunch of country songs. So, like, if you listen to the song Goodbye Earl, the guy who wrote that, Earl lives in this town. He owns Earl's hardware store. In another song, they reference going to Earl's hardware store for something, and he based all of his country music songs in that fictitious town.
I wonder if
So,
the country store before or after Earl's death.
I don't know. Goodbye Earl. Right.
Spoiler alert for people who
I
haven't
was.
listened to My Earl.
It's Dennis Lind. Yeah, Dennis Lind.
It is okay.
Yeah, he wrote
Yeah.
Goodbye Earl. What
John
else?
Deere
All kind.
Green, Bubba Chuck
Yes.
Jukebox. Huh.
Yeah. Yeah.
How come?
Called in Baton Rouge.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but he set everything in that one town.
That's
The
so
town where Earl
interesting.
died.
Yeah. So it's it's wild. And the only reason I know that is because I was doom scrolling on Instagram the other day, and I was like, "That's really interesting. That'll come in handy later." And it did.
It's it came in handy.
I'm pretty sure that Stephen King does that too.
Was gonna
He
say
lists
Stephen
all
King is
his
pretty well known. I think he does a lot of it's like sort of permutations of the same town sometimes. I feel, but yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I distinctly remember reading, I don't know if it was his book on writing or if it was a short story he wrote or something, but he gave a map of his towns and how they
oh
all
cool.
connected and like the stories and stuff that were set there.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Um yeah. That's interesting.
I've always wanted to get into Stephen King, but he feels intimidating.
You have to do a mountain of cocaine so you can keep up.
There.
He's so his book on writing is so good.
Hmm.
Um I feel like he is so long-winded in his fiction, and I've tried to read some of it and I just like I have to really be able to pay attention. And then I've
Yeah.
also tried to listen to some of it and same thing, like I have to really like focus in. And I don't know if it's because he writes with like not that other authors don't do this, but like he writes with purpose and he like I don't know, everything he says is important it seems like.
Yeah.
Whereas which I think that's how it should be. Um I don't know. It's he's just really long-winded, I think.
Yeah, a lot of detail where they may. Well, and there's also the added fact that, from what I hear, his stories. I've read some more of his son's work. Is he goes by Joe Hill? Is his pen
Mhm.
name?
Yeah. He wrote
Um, he
horns.
he wrote Horns, yes. And I don't know, Frankie, did you read Horns?
I started reading horns, but then the semester started and I put it down and then I moved and I don't know where I went.
No, fair. That's totally fair. So if you read any of Joe Hill's book, I think it's kind of the same where he doesn't the it's good story and it's engaging. He is long winded, especially in his later books when I think his publisher gave him more free reign. And then it also kind of like the end of the book is just like, oh, that's it. It just kind of ended. Like I don't know. See,
Yeah.
I feel like their books were so much better in their mystery and their plot than their endings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't read any of Joe Hill, but I have read a few Stephen King. Not I'm I'm just getting into like horror.
Okay.
So I
Getting
don't.
close to spooky season.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna be reading more of him, but from what I have read, it's just I have to be able to focus and can't focus with a toddler running around. So
What? Come on now.
Yeah.
It's gonna be so easy.
not possible. Okay. Next week's writing prompt is if you could have a talking pet, what would it be and what would it say?
Okay.
Yeah.
I know if it was my current pet, he would just speak French at me because he is part Basset Hound.
Does he have a
And
cigarette in his mouth? Bonjour.
every time you give me a treat, it makes my ass twitch. That's a quote from a movie, by the way. It's a slightly affected tweet, but it's a tweet. Yeah, there's a movie called French Kiss with Kevin Kline and Meg Ryan, and she's like pointing at a couple kissing. He's like, every time I see a couple in love, it makes my ass twitch. And then they fall in love, and that's a trope.
Dude, yeah, that's the ass twitch trope.
Oh,
Uh,
I'm never married.
all right, so I guess that launches us into our topic, which is loved and hated tropes.
That was that was such a smooth transition, man.
That's a trope.
Oh, what's your favorite?
Oh gosh, that's let's see. Favorite?
Yeah. Either favorite to like or favorite to hate. I don't care. This
Okay.
conversation could go anywhere.
I'd say favorite um I've become a sucker for like a sort of bittersweet tragic ending in fiction. Like I don't necessarily I don't know if that's a trope necessarily. I think we have a lot of grim dark kind of things nowadays, so I think it's fair to say that is, pretty heavily portrayed. But I don't know. I like the sacrificial ending. I like the Mass Effect sacrifice ending.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
I think my most favorite is the Prometheus school of running away from things. There's this very long thing falling, and instead of just taking a step to the left, they go that direction
Fall.
where the thing is falling. Yeah, it's like, yeah, squish him. I want to see him bleed. And then they get away, and like, that's not fun.
I think I don't know. My as I've mentioned 18 million times, I've been listening to so many books. It's
Mhm.
like I called it brain rot today because I feel like some books are just like should not have been written and also should not have been narrated. But
Hey, hey.
I feel like the most overused trope that I cannot stand is the lovers to enemies trope or enemies to lovers trope, sorry. Where it's just like,
Dude,
I hate
lovers to enemies
her.
would be dope.
Well, it's just called the War of the Roses. I don't.
But it's just like it happens so often in so many different genres where people hate each other and then they end up falling in love and it's like it's okay for them to not like each other. It's
Mhm.
fine. They can hate each other.
It's
They
actually
don't
kind
have to interact all the time.
of Well, it also feels like you can tell from the very first interaction that they exactly where this trajectory is going.
Yeah. Like they
Yeah.
hate each other, but also like they touch and there's like some type of chemistry and it's like
Mm-hmm.
that's not real.
Especially when it's so overdone in the whole enemy trope where it's like, dude, that person killed your family.
Yeah.
What are you talking
Yes.
I just hear Monty Python in the back of my head. I got better.
about?
Yeah. That's
Oh,
the
that
one that
is a
I
good
hate
one.
the most. I think the one that I do like is where um the underdog kind of steals the show, but not in a super over the top way. Like I hate whenever people are like, "Oh my gosh, this girl's so quiet." And then at the end it's like, "Oh, this girl's the best person in the world and she's actually a princess." Like, no, I don't like that. But whenever the quiet girl ends up, I don't know, getting a really good job and making a life for herself and then the whole story starts to be about her, that's what I like. You got to be like sneaky about it.
Subtle success.
Yes,
If
yeah.
if
Yeah.
all you have to do to make her a better person is take her glasses off, like she's
Prin-
still a shitty person. She just can't see now.
Prin- Princess Diaries really did a number on a whole generation of people growing up where it's like, oh, you have curly hair and glasses? Ugly. You piece of shit.
See, I have my hair straightened and I don't have my glasses on. So, thank
Speaking
you
of
millennials.
fucking Anne Hathaway, man. Also, I got new glasses, by the way, and one of my coworkers told me I look like Rosa Parks. I
I
don't know how I feel about that.
mean, like, I feel like we got to address the obvious difference. But
For our audio listeners, I am the color of printer paper. Just and
in
the sad thing is, it was an African American lady who said it, so I couldn't argue with her about it. Like, go back to class now.
I just looked up a picture of Rosa Parks.
I lost your glasses. I lost your glasses. Let's see. Fucking.
If
Who
they
made
had a
these?
little bit of a tint on them, it would be perfect, other than the fact that you are indeed white.
hey, there are worse people to look like.
This is true. This is all fucking Rachel Zoe's fault. She's the one who made these goddamn glasses. And I just put them on thinking, wow, they're big and I can see out of them. That's wonderful. And
Hey,
now, which it's fine because I have a dream right now in our classes. So, I
Oh,
mean,
there you go.
yeah, I'm just topical, that's all.
I change my glasses every unit.
Yeah.
Right.
Our next unit is Romeo and Juliet. So now I just gotta, stab myself, and it's fine.
It's
The kids will be great.
fine.
This is wonderful.
Bring
Hand
some
me that
poison.
poison. Yeah. Pick your poison. We got arsenic, cyanide, Coca-Cola. All the refined sugars. You guys want a Starburst? Here you go.
I just thought of another one. One of my least favorite tropes out there is the disposable henchman, but um, non-disposable main villain, where it's like the hero learns the value of, oh, I can't kill you or I'll become like you after having mowed through absolute tons and tons of faceless, like, people that probably were just trying to feed their family. Honestly, they didn't have as much a say in the guy that
Yeah.
set it all up and just employed this entire army.
He walked out of his house that morning like, all right, honey, I can't wait to have the meatloaf tonight. No, that meatloaf was just going to go cold because Austin Powers was running around going, judo, chop. And
He's not necessarily proud of what he does, but it's a hard life.
Yeah. For
No,
me,
Yeah.
if I have to read or watch one more piece of entertainment where this girl in a sundress with fucked up bangs teaches a rude businessman that he doesn't have to be stuffy all the time, I'm going to punch Zoe Deschanel in the face.
well, you should definitely stay away from the Hallmark Channel during Christmas for sure.
Oh my god. You know what? I worked all my life and I went to Harvard and I'm a lawyer now and I have a highfalutin law practice and I make 6 figures a week. I think I'm gonna go live on a crumbling horse ranch and make out with Duty McDuderson, That'd be so much better than the thing that I worked my entire life for, because that was Dad's dream. Like
But but it's a Christmas tree farm.
yeah, like he rides horses, he throws Christmas trees in people's houses at night. He's grumpy, but I have bangs. We can do it. I know we can.
Don't forget the most important aspect, which is that they're both conventionally attractive. That's the big
Yes.
Right.
thing.
Ain't no elbows on the Hallmark Channel.
No, no.
It's like, well, she could have stopped being a lawyer and married the handsome bar hand, but she got that one tooth that just sticks out a little too far to the left, so we ain't doing it. You
I
ain't
don't.
got the Sally Mae.
God, another
Oh,
Yeah,
thing that I hate. I've probably talked about this series before, but it's called the Powerless trilogy.
I think
Um, and every single book, all three books, there is a line that says, because the beast can never get the beauty. And I hate it, and it ruins the entire mood. Like,
that made my IQ hurt.
oh God, that's so bad.
Oh.
That's so
so
bad.
bad, so bad.
I,
And
it,
the
Did you
book,
see the movie?
it never. First of all, that never works to begin with, because if you have to say it, then you did a bad job explaining it. So, like,
Don't tell me, show me. Yeah.
yes, don't tell me the trope that you're using in the
be,
book. Like, don't write it.
so bad.
Show me what you're trying to explain. That's a bad trope to begin with. But, like,
Also, I feel like somewhere the author was like, I'm such a nice guy. How can I prove it? They think I'm the beast, but really I'm nice. I never get the girl. Like,
Is, is there
it's all
is,
speechless.
is there ever a line in the books that says "I'm so damaged"? Because that's got to be right.
probably, probably, and that's in that book. It uses the trope of, like, these henchmen are indispensable, but also, like, I have to be a good person to get the girl, and I'm a beast right now. And it's like,
The
you're killing
beast.
all of these people. Yes, you're a bad person.
Just point blank, straight up.
Like, all right, guys, important announcement. Gather in the main room. I suck. But Punani. So we're gonna be real nice for the next 30 minutes while she's here.
I
God help us all.
I
Yeah, I hate
equally
it.
love I equally love and hate the absolutely irredeemable villain somehow trying to get redeemed. Like, I don't know if I hate it or not, because there's part of me that's like thinks it's hilarious, because it's just like this person who has committed genocide is now on your team, or I don't know. It's the yeah, the or the redemption that is not at all deserved.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I
I
think it all depends on how the author, like, portrays it, because if the author is, like, trying really hard to get you to like this villain that so clearly should not be liked, then it feels forced. But I think if they're doing it, like, comedically, to the point of, like, oh, I actually do kind of like this person, it feels more natural. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
yeah. For me, it's Amnesia. Like,
Oh my
Ooh.
gosh.
like it has its place.
Yeah.
In the Born Identity.
That's it. Or Memento. That's fine too. But like, like it gets thrown around so much. Like, oh, I used to be a terrible person, but I don't remember that, so I guess I'm good now. Like all this built up hatred, pent up homicide inside of me doesn't matter because I got a bonk on the head and I saw some birds, and now I'm the good guy. Like, come
Yeah,
on, man.
That'll
yeah,
never rear its ugly
Or,
head again.
no, I
yeah,
have
and
put books
also,
down for that shit.
like, falling in love after amnesia, like, in 50 First Dates, it uh, that's such a classic movie, and
Mm-hmm.
I'll watch it over and over again, but, oh my god. It's so overused, and
Mm-hmm.
it's so annoying in movies and TV shows and books whenever people are like, "Huh? Who are you? What? I've never seen you before in my life, but I do love you. Yes, that's right. Okay, I believe you." And I can't. I I get angry.
Viscerally upset.
Yeah,
No,
Somewhere Nicholas Sparks, somewhere Nicholas Sparks and Danielle Steele is in the corner crying and they don't know why.
they're sobbing into their wads of cash.
Yeah, these little writers don't like me. They've got 4 listeners. That's 6 people that don't like me. Said they were good at math.
I can't. I. It's a good thing I read Harry Potter as a kid because as an adult, I can't do chosen one narratives. Like a
Yeah,
lot. It's just it. Especially because just narratively, if you're giving me a chosen one narrative, you've already essentially spoiled the plot for me, which is that this person through destiny will win. I mean, that's just kind of usually
Mm.
it.
there are exceptions, and that's what I will enjoy. There's a story that the Mistborn series by Brandon Sanderson that does that very well, where that kind of subverts the chosen one trope. Um,
Yeah,
but I think it's harder to do than a lot of people give it credit for. And then if you just fall into the whole chosen one narrative, then it, I don't know. To me, at least, it's less compelling.
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I did. There. I used to be big on Tumblr. Not that I was famous on. I was Tumblr famous, but I was all over that shit every 5 minutes. And there is one chosen one story. It was just a post. If it ever gets made, I'll watch the shit out of it. But it was, you know how in anime you always know who the main character is because everyone has black or brown hair, and then there's someone standing there like a fucking rainbow growing out of their head.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
one of my favorite tropes of all time. Yes.
Their idea was that like the couple has their baby and they both have black hair, but the baby has bright pink hair. So the mom packs her shit and she's like, "I have to leave. I can't be the mother of uh, a main character," and she's gone. So effectively creating a main character with one parent, and then like that person spends the entirety of their series like falling into battles and shit. Like, I just want to go to chemistry class. What the fuck is happening? Like, I would watch the shit out of them dodging their destiny left and right and accidentally fulfilling these prophecies and things. That would be
Mhm.
hilarious.
that would be
Yeah.
that would be
And
very difficult to do right, but I think worthwhile if you could plan it out well.
Yeah,
right,
absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah,
because
because
like,
that's doing the chosen one trope, but, like, avoiding it at all costs as well,
mm-hmm,
And
which is
yet,
so
yeah,
interesting.
and I like that subversion of a trope. If
Mhm.
you
Yeah,
can take something like the butcher's son is a vegetarian, that kind of thing, and flip it on its ear,
Yeah.
then
yeah,
it's great. It's still a trope because I mean, there's like what 50 tropes, and every something falls into it.
yeah,
Yep.
But it's up to the writer to make it worth reading. A manic pixie dream girl can be done well, but it's
Yeah.
yeah,
gotta have something other than a sundress and bangs. Like
That's a,
yes, absolutely.
yeah, that's a very, very impressive, I think, kind of drill down to the core of the issue, which is that tropes are not inherently bad. None of,
no.
I hesitate to say none of them, but a lot of, caveat. Most tropes are not inherently bad. It all comes down to your skill as a writer to essentially use them and bend them to your will. Because if you
Mhm.
know people, if you know what they like and what they want, and how these tropes put these ideas across, then you can use them to your advantage. And you like essentially it's like an instrument. You can just play them the right way.
Right.
Yeah.
Some something I think that does well with the tropes is Ted Lasso. Circling back around. That and Umbrella Academy are my two comfort shows. So if I'm having a panic attack or I'm just freaking out, I'll put something on and watch it, and it's gonna be one of those too. But like Ted Lasso, the whole time when the show first starts, Rebecca secretly hates Ted, and you keep thinking in the back of your mind, all right, they're gonna wind up together. And spoiler alert, please go watch Ted Lasso. Cause just stop now. Um, they don't wind up together. They have a strictly platonic friendship. And that's rare to find. And Ted also has that same friendship with Keeley. Keely's dating Jamie at the beginning. She dates Roy all through season 2, and then she dates a girl named Jack in season 3. And it just he doesn't wind up with a girl. He doesn't need that love story because that love story is happening for other characters.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
Yep.
it's really refreshing to have a platonic
Yeah.
friendship between two individuals, either of the same sex, different sex, or same orientation, that sort of thing. Just because two people like what they like doesn't mean they have to wind up married or
Right.
together.
Yeah. And
Like,
it also like I feel like a lot of the times in stories that will have that platonic relationship where they don't end up together, a lot of
mm-hmm,
the times I feel like they add in that like unrequited love aspect where it's like,
mm-hmm,
oh, they didn't end up together because one of them doesn't feel the same way. And it's like also they could just not like each other, like they could just be friends.
yeah,
Yeah,
It's
it's not. It's
okay.
not always. Yeah, I think that's. I think that's people that struggle to just conceptualize that men and women can just be platonic friends and have nothing
Yeah.
more between them. Like it's not. It's not because one of them is barren or the other is heartless. It's just we
yeah.
don't. We I don't
They're
look at.
just friends.
Yeah. Like that's just how it is.
Yeah. I'll say it again. I don't know if I said it on the podcast last week or if I said it after because we do chat after a little bit. I would have enjoyed the film Friends with Children a whole lot better if they would not have wound up together in the end.
I will say that there is a somewhat the ironic thing about because I think I have seen I've seen my fair share and read my fair share of media where it is just there is platonic friendship between the main characters who are male and female, and that's been
Yeah.
looking back at that, I was kind of lucky to read the things I did growing up because that really helped color my view. Um, but oh, I just kind of lost my train of thought because I was thinking about some of the examples from when I was reading that. Um, Oof, that's embarrassing.
Do you need some Ritalin?
Might, yeah. Well, I definitely don't add any
Too
caffeine.
bad. Insurance is a
Oh,
scam.
Yeah, here we go. I circled back to it. It's that when it's done well, that ironically sometimes makes me wish that there was an like because I don't buy into most actual romances, when I do see two characters that just mesh well in their character interactions, there's part of me that's like, I do wonder what a romance between those two would have looked like. That would be interesting. It's not every
yeah,
time, but it is interesting to be like, and that's not a bad thing. It's interesting to wonder about other aspects, but a lot of the time, if the author wrote it that way, they know what they're doing.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I will go back and blame Tumblr for me being over uh, platonic couples becoming romantic partners simply for the fact of shipping.
Yeah.
Oh
Just
yeah.
triggered half the audience. Like, and
The two
I'm guilty of
two
it.
people.
I am currently listed in some people's phones as the Commodore because I once made the comment, I have so many ships, you can call me the Commodore. So Crystal Dean, if you're out there, how you doing? The Commodore says hello. um, and like I was all about the shipping until Wincest became a thing, and I was like, all right, I'm out. It's
Y'all
not even it's
me.
yeah, it's not even two different characters. It's a set of brothers, and that's where I draw the goddamn line. I draw the line at 12th cousins twice removed. Okay, that's still too close. I don't care if it's a 14-time great grandfather they share. That's a little close for me.
That family tree starting to look like a telephone pole.
Right? What are all these loops? That's the little branches. Don't worry about them.
Man. Alrighty, we are at the 1 hour and 5 minute mark. Oh, we're a little over.
Little
Oh, you get bonus content this year? Fuck. How old am I now? Where's the time gone?
As a reminder, our prompt for next week is if you could have a talking pet, what would it be and what would it say? And that is all. We will see you guys. Well, you'll hear us next week.
But we'll see you. We're in your bedroom. You should probably wash your sheets. You made the cat gag, my guy.
All right. Adios, folks. I have been Patrick Caleri.
Wait, do we do that?
We do now because I've been Frankie Valentine.
And I've been Sarah Billiot.
And next week I'll be Abraham Lincoln.
Chill bro swaggins.
Foxy lady. Peace out, guys.